Harihi Om, Harihi Om. 3 times Omkara. Om.
चाहिए मेरे को टेढ़ा नहीं चाहिए और इस पे नहीं आ रहा
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihitavi Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Hari Om. Suswagatam. We all are studying a text, Amritabindu Upanishad. And as we have seen, Upanishad is a part of Vedas. In this path of knowledge, there are a lot of obstacles which keep coming to our way. And therefore, there is a first Mangalacharana mantra, which we all chant first before starting the study of Upanishad. The meaning of this Mangalacharana mantra we have seen in the last session. So just begin with the invocation prayer mantra. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatra Sthirairangai Stushtvagam Sastanubhihi Veshema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vruddhashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starksho Arishtanemihi Swastino Bruhaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. All seekers are praying to different devatas, those who govern this world as well as this body too. So prayers are very important because with the prayers, what happens? Our mind gets tuned to the higher reality, and then the blessings which come to us make us path more clear, more vibrant, and more firm. Having done this prayer, now let us think of a very important aspect. See, in Upanishads, there are some Upanishads which are called as major Upanishads, and there are some which are called as minor Upanishad. So some people have this sort of notion that this Amritabindu Upanishad is under the category of minor Upanishad. So maybe it is less important. And those Upanishads which are coming under the category of major Upanishad, they are more important. Maybe this notion come in someone's mind. So answer is, see why it is called as major Upanishad as well as minor Upanishad, not because of the knowledge content, but because there are 10 or 11 Upanishad. On those Upanishad, Bhashyakar, that means Adi Shankaracharya Ji Bhagavan, has written a commentary. And therefore, they are considered as a major Upanishad. And this Amritabindu Upanishad, there is no commentary written by Adi Shankaracharya Ji Bhagavan, and therefore it is considered as a minor Upanishad, and not because of the content of the Upanishad. See, if we take up this example to make point more clear, how much potassium cyanide is required to kill someone? A drop, a drop of it, or a particle of it, and that's all. Similarly, the drop of nectar, that is called as nectar here, is knowledge. The drop of knowledge as a nectar can remove all the bondages from the life of a person by understanding the indication and message from this Upanishad. So today we are going to start the first shloka of the Upanishad, Amritabindu. We have this book in our bookstall, so those who would like to have the copy may get it. Mano hi dvividham proktam shuddham cha shuddhameva cha ashuddham kama sankalpam shuddham kama vivarjitam. Let us chant once more. Mano hi dvividham proktam shuddham cha shuddhameva cha ashuddham kama sankalpam shuddham kama vivarjitam. It is said here, manaha, mind, hi dvividham proktam. Two types of mind, it is said here. A question can come, my God, do I have two minds? So understand, there are no two minds, there are two shades of mind, of a same mind. So we will think about it. Then it is said, what are these two shades? Shuddham cha ashuddham eva. That one shade is Shuddha, pure, and the other shade is Ashuddha, impure. Kama sankalpam. What is Ashuddham? So, thoughts of desire, that shade is called as Ashuddha. What is Shuddha? Kama vivarjitam. That shade of mind which is completely devoid of desires, that is called as the Shuddha Manaha. Okay. So let us now go one by one and understand. So what is a message here? Mind is of two types, and as we have thought here, two shades of mind. What are they? One shade is Shuddha, another shade is Ashuddha. What is called as Shuddha? Devoid of desires. It is called as Shuddha Manaha. And another is Ashuddha Manaha. That is called as lot of desires which are there. So thoughts of desire, when they're in the mind, then that is called as Ashuddha Manaha. If we just focus this attention of ours on mind now, so why it is emphasis given on the mind? So this Upanishad will help us to reach to the complete state of meditation. This Upanishad will take us to help us, to support us to reach to a complete state of meditation. As I said, state of meditation, that means, for the beginners, let me again clarify it. Those who start practice of meditation, so that is the beginning of the sadhana as a dhyanam, called as meditation. So slowly, that person grows in the practice of meditation, which is called as Dhyana Abhyasa. And what is this goal of this meditator? That state where a person is absolutely aware of one's own true nature effortlessly. So one who effortlessly remain with this awareness of our true nature, that is called as Dhyana Avastha, the state of meditation. And to reach this state of meditation, there is a practice of meditation called as Dhyana Abhyasa. So this specific Upanishad will help us, will support us to reach faster to the state of meditation. Okay. How is it so? The center point of our life is our mind. Please note this. Center point of our mind, a center point of our life is mind. If you ask Swamiji, why are you saying so? So, a simple Hindi one proverb is there. What is that? Jaisa aapka man, वैसा आपका जीवन. Means, as your mind, so your life. Or you can put it in this way also, as your mind, so you are. Oh my God. That means I am nothing but the expression of our mind. Yes, please note it. As we all are expression of our mind. And therefore, the first mantra of Upanishad is, giving a very great indication about the mind. So, having understood this, what is the definition of the mind? Let us see. Manaha vrittayaha. Vrittayaha manaha. That means flow of thoughts itself is mind. Mind is not an object. Please understand. Mind is not an object like something object like this. This is not an object. It is very subtle upadhi. It is a very subtle upadhi. It is a subtle instrument. It is a subtle equipment. Okay. So this subtle equipment has subtle thoughts. What is this subtle? That which cannot be perceived by the sense organ. And that's called as subtle. So thoughts are very subtle in origin. Another definition of mind is sankalpatmak, sankalpa vikalpatmaka manaha. Sankalpa vikalpatmaka manaha. That means mind at one time says, let us do it. Next moment it says, no, I would not do it. Oh my God. Just see, one moment it can turn into absolutely a different direction. That is called as sankalpa vikalpatmaka manaha. Always there is called as a dvandva which is going on in this mind, and this is because of this impurity of the mind. So when we look at this mind, what is ashuddhi and what is shuddhi? Let us now focus on this. So let us first focus on ashuddhi. What is called as ashuddhi? So disturbance of the mind is called as ashuddhi. Disturbance of the mind is called as ashuddhi. And this disturbance comes from, now please note it, disturbance comes from these factors. The first is attachment to the object, situation, or people. The first aspect is attachment. The second aspect after attachment comes, which is called as a person becomes more possessive. So possessiveness is a second factor which is a cause of disturbance. Then the next factor comes, which is a fear of losing what I am holding on to. Fear of losing near and dear, maybe the object, person, or sort of situation. Then comes anger. If we lose it, then we cannot digest it. Anger. And if we get it, and if we keep getting it, then there is called as lobha, the greed. So all these are the factors which disturbs the mind. Which disturbs the mind. So another question comes to our mind. What is that? Now the question is mind's nature is shuddha or ashuddha? What I ask the question, is the mind's nature is shuddha, that means pure, or impure? So my dear friends, this is very important aspect, one must note it. If the nature of the mind is impure, then nobody can make it pure, because nature is that which remains forever and there cannot be a change possible. Example, the nature of the sun is heat and light together. Nature of the sun is heat and light together. So this nature, which in Sanskrit called as svabhava. So svabhava of sun, that is called as Surya Bhagavan, is light and heat. Therefore, one must understand no one can change this svabhava, that is nature of sun god. So can you just imagine a sun without the light and heat? No, not possible. Therefore, the permanent thing which remains forever with some entity, that's its nature. So now ask this question, is the nature of the mind impure? The answer is no. The nature of the mind is not impure. This quality of impurity is acquired one. Quality of the impurity is acquired one, and therefore it is possible to get completely purified. That's the point one must know, that yes, it is possible because the nature of mind is pure, and impurity, it is because of situation, circumstances, and so on. Okay. Another important point we must notice to make it more clear this point. See, example, Gangaji, river Gangaji. Gangaji's water, people are trying to make it now pure and make it more and more. They are doing more and more effort to maintain the purity of the Gangaji's water. Now ask first that Gangaji's water is pure or impure? It was completely pure, and it is actually a pure by its nature. But because it flows from Himalaya and goes to the Bay of Bengal as an ocean, then what happens? During this so-called as a journey, so many adulterants are put into the water of Gangaji, and therefore the water becomes impure. So Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanand used to say, you just stop putting the dirt in the river Ganga. Gurudev says Ganges. You just stop putting all dirt into the Ganges, and Ganges by itself will be pure. So we all have to understand that impurity is added, and if it is added, it can be removed also. So what is the method? So method is given as a indication or as a sadhana for all the seekers. It is in chapter number 5, verse number 11 of Bhagavad Gita. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindriyairapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atmashuddhaye. So, sangam tyaktva yoginah karma kurvanti. For what? Atmashuddhaye. So, yoginah, those who are striving hard to reach to the supreme goal of life. What is the supreme goal of life? That truth, that Brahma, that reality, that Bhagavan. These are all synonyms. So that is a supreme goal of life. So seekers, those who are striving hard, they do the action by this kayena. Kayena means by body. Kayena manasa buddhya. Manasa by mind, by buddhi, and all by the senses also. But how do they do? Sangam tyaktva. This is the most important aspect. Sangam tyaktva means one should remove this attachment from the action itself first. How to remove attachment? Keep your attitude selfless. That is a direct means to remove attachment from the action as well as the result of action. What is attitude required? Selfless. Niswartha bhav se karma karna. That means one should do action without expecting any sort of result, called as without insisting the particular result from our action. And also the action should not be done for the sake of gaining pleasures, but one should able to focus on the duty conscious aspect of the action. Then a person can really do a selfless action. This is how a person can purify the mind? So there are three important methods we can understand. First method is called as Uppasana. First method is called as Uppasana. What is Uppasana? Going or reaching near to the God. One can understand as a truth. So Uppasana in the path of knowledge is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. That is Uppasana. And also in other path, what are the Uppasanas? The most important Uppasana in the path of bhakti, also it can be considered in the path of knowledge, is taking the name of Lord. So that is called as mantra japa or a nama japa. Mantra, that means the verse taken from some Upanishad or Vedas, like Gayatri mantra, like Mahamrutyunjay mantra. So these are the mantras which are coming directly from the Vedas. So these mantras, one can be very carefully chanting as a means of purification of the mind. Okay. As well, a person can chant the name of Lord, which is also as a means for purification of the mind. So this is Uppasana. Then comes called as Punya Karma. So what is Punya Karma? That is called as action, the Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga is completely focusing our attitude and making our attitude selfless. So slowly one has to try and remove the selfishness from our action. So that is called as very divine action, which is called as Punya Karma. And the third is called as Dhyanam, meditation. So meditation is also a process, as we have explained just before some time in this session. So if we add all these sadhanas, then our mind gets slowly purified. Okay. So today we have seen what are the main factors which are called as Ashuddhi. So first is, what is Ashuddhi? Disturbance of the mind. Swamiji, what if there is a disturbance? What is the effect? Now please note, what is the effect of disturbance? If the mind is continuously disturbed, then there cannot be peace in the life at all. And our goal is to remain peaceful, to live a peaceful life. So there cannot be a peace, there cannot be a shanti if there is continuous disturbance, agitation in the mind. That's the first thing. If the mind is agitated, disturbed, then there is no creative action possible. Then there is no creative action possible, because creative action requires a quiet mind, a serene mind, a stable mind. And if the mind is continuously disturbed, then a creativity will be hampered, creativity will be lost completely. Then the divinity in the action, that also is not possible if the mind is continuously disturbed. What I mean by divinity, the action done by the whole heart. Action done by the whole heart without any sort of distraction because of object or situation. Complete focus. And that's called as the divinity. When you put your complete mind into your action. Let me give an example. If you do a puja and you put your mind at the feet of the Lord and you do the action, you can experience that bliss which cannot be explained in words. Yes or no? Yes. Similarly, Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanand used to say, wherever your hands are, there should be your mind, and that will be a direct worship to the Lord. Wherever your hands are, that means whatever action you are doing, your mind should be focused there and then only. And that can be a great worship. So these are all important factors which are considered for improving the quality of the mind. What is called as Shuddha Mana and the effect of the Shuddha Mana? Now, exactly opposite to what we have just seen, that all these factors which makes the mind disturbed. What are those factors? First, attachment to the action, attachment to the objects, attachment to the situation, attachment to the people around. And because of that, next is what? Possessiveness. Then we become very possessive about the objects, about the people, and so on. And if we are having this possessiveness as in mind, then there is a fear developed of losing them. What will happen if I lose them? That's called as the another aspect because of which mind gets impure. And the last but not the least, anger and greed are very two so-called as important factors which makes the mind impure. So today we have seen from the verse number first that this is how the mind, which is called as Ashuddha, which can really be a disturbed state of the mind, and because of that there cannot be a peace in the life of a seeker or life of a person, and therefore it is required to be purified. Then now let us go to the verse number 2. Verse number 2 of the Amritabindu Upanishad. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishaya saktam muktam nirvishayam smrutam. How beautifully said. Let me chant once more. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishaya saktam muktam nirvishayam smrutam. Very clearly and very beautifully explained here. What? Manaha eva manushyanam, mind alone of human beings, karanam, cause of what? Bandha moksha yoho, of bondage as well as liberation. So mind itself is a cause for all the human beings of what? Bondage and liberation. Bandhaya vishaya saktam. Now it is said, what is called as a mind which has a bondage? Vishaya saktam means attachments to all the objects of the world. We will describe it more. Muktam nirvishayam smrutam. What is called as a free mind, absolutely pure mind, that which is devoid of asakti to vishaya. Asakti means attachment. Vishaya means world of objects. Now this world of objects one has to be very clear about. When it is said world of object, then objects are included, situation is also included, people are also included. And whatever you think about this world is also included in this statement called as world of objects. Okay. So what is mentioned here? That mind itself is a cause of both bondage and liberation. My God, how is it so? Because of our own impressions of the mind. Because of our own impressions of the mind. When the mind gets impressed, when the mind gets attached, when the mind gets superimposed with different notion, so this is called as notion. Please understand, bondage is not physical at all. Bondage is not physical at all when it is said as bondage of the mind. Now, let me just give one simple example. If we always carry so-called as 50 kg weight on our shoulder or 100 kg of the weight on our shoulder and trying to do some activity in house or in your professional life, can you imagine how difficult and how so-called as troublesome it would be when you carry a burden of 50 kg or 100 kg on your shoulder? Yes or no? Yes. Now, similarly, when the mind is carrying all the burden of negative thoughts, then it is always under a tension and stress. And this mind is under the bondage of what? Negative thoughts. And therefore it is said, mana eva manushyanam karanam bandhana mokshayoho. Now, more we will definitely see in our next session about this. But today, what we have seen, that in the first mantra, our Upanishad is giving us a direct indication that mind is of two types. What is that? Shuddham cha ashuddham evacha. That which is called as pure and another is called as impure. Then it is said, what is called as impure mind? That mind which is with desires. Kama sankalpa sahita manaha. Kama sankalpa sahita manaha ashuddha manaha. That means that mind which has lots and lots of thoughts of desires, then that mind is called as impure mind. What is called as shuddha mana? Kama sankalpa vivarjita. That mind which is devoid of desires is called as pure mind, shuddha mana. Then it is, we have seen all different aspects that how mind's nature actually is pure, and because of our wrong action or wrong attitude of the action, mind becomes impure. And then it is said in the second mantra that this mind itself is a cause of bondage as well as liberation. So what is called as bondage? Then it is said Vishayasakta manaha is bandha manaha, and Vishaya mukta nirvishayam manaha, nirvishayam manaha mukta manaha. That means that mind devoid of all attachment to the world of object is called as a free mind. So all seekers should take up this opportunity to dive deep into this knowledge of Upanishad and understand the subject well by reflecting over it. It will help every one of us to grow faster in our meditation process. So more we will discuss in our next session. Before that, let us first do our contemplation meditation for few minutes. Wherever you are, sit quietly, take a firm posture, See to it that your body is comfortable, your back is straight, neck is straight, facial expressions are pleasant, eyes gently closed. Focus your attention for a minute on your breathing process. Air which comes inside fills our lungs and goes away. Total focus on our own breath. Having reached to a good concentration, let us focus on the important topic discussed in today's session. Mind is a center point of our life. As our mind, so we are. The disturbance of the mind is because of following factors: attachment to the world of objects, due to which there is a possessiveness which develops fear of losing the objects, which also connects to anger and greed. And that's how our mind becomes disturbed, and this disturbed mind is called as impure mind. Impure mind cannot meditate, or it is difficult to meditate with this impure mind. What is the purity? When the mind is devoid of desires, kama, sankalpa, vivarjita manaha. That is the shuddha manaha, pure mind. Ashuddha manaha, kama, sankalpa, sahita manaha. Then it is said that mind which is nirvishayam, that means devoid of attachments to the world of object, is a free mind. A free mind is a stable mind. A free mind is a creative mind. A free mind is a peaceful mind. Experience the silence. More the silence of the mind grows, more you grow in practice of meditation. Om. Om. You can bring your hands in Namaskar position. Have gratitude towards the Almighty Lord who has given us this time and beautiful knowledge. Have gratitude towards one and all around us. Pray for everyone. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. You can rub your hands together. Put them on your both eyes. Give a good massage. Bring them back to your Namaskar position. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.